Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of the wrong information in the NEI. How are you guys doing today? How's life? So if you guys remember, last two episodes we have been trying to generate some power using the lava that we're getting from the nether, and last episode we hit a big snag with the thermal boiler. I still have no idea why it's not working, and I haven't released the episode yet, so you guys cannot explain it to me, but in between the episodes, I have been extremely busy. Very busy. So basically what I have done is that we have a set of 30 high pressure lava boilers from GregTech. The thing is, if you have access to a ton of lava, these guys are actually hyper efficient because once heated up, they're only going to consume 3 milliliters of lava every second. If you have 30 of them, it's gonna be 90 millibuckets per second. With our ender pump, we're making 5 or 6 buckets per second, so keeping up with this is going to be relatively easy because we're making 40 times more than we're consuming. But anyways, unlike the high pressure solar boilers, they do not require any maintenance. And unlike the advanced boilers from GT++, they don't really require that much fuel. And don't get me wrong, the advanced boilers are super efficient, they also make you 750 millibuckets of steam per second. But lava boilers with a bit of lava give you 600. It's a lot. So over here we're actually generating somewhere around 18,000 millibuckets of steam per second, which is quite a bit. But the main question is, what are we doing with that steam? I might have gone a teeny tiny bit overboard, and sorry, it's the morning and for some reason we have speed, but we are using that steam in order to power a few steam turbines. Those steam turbines are powering a few compressors, they're compressing air, we are centrifuging that air, and as a result we're getting oxygen as well as nitrogen. Of course this is not going to be our main source of oxygen because we're getting oxygen kind of as a byproduct. The Earth's atmosphere is mainly 80% nitrogen, so if you centrifuge it, where is it? You get almost 4 buckets of nitrogen and 1 bucket of oxygen. Same as real life. But from our tree farm we are also importing wood into some centrifuges. Oh thank god, the speed is gone. The wood goes inside the basic centrifuge, and with circuit number 1 we're getting some methane gas. That methane gas goes inside an electrolyzer and we get hydrogen. The advanced electrolyzer is also powered by a steam turbine. And so far so good. We're keeping up. But now that we have the main gases that we wanted, what do we want to do? Actually, you, me and the Baron are going to go and gather some resources. Actually, before we go, I forgot to show you the recipe for the boiler, the lava boiler. That's it. Steel. Only steel. One more thing, we do have some overflow valves for nitrogen and oxygen so that whenever one of the tanks gets full, we don't stop producing the other one. And the other one is probably going to be oxygen because we're going to get tons of nitrogen. Also, I have just realized our excavator has an extra modifier. We give it haste. Because in today's adventure, we're mainly looking for 2 things. It's a very long journey, I know. Yes. Here's my hole. The first item that we want is dirt. Oh, this is so nice. It's insta-mining finally. Since we do not really have a production of dirt, I'm going to use dirt for building and obviously the tree farm. It consumes a ton. My dear Baron, carry some. I don't really get it. Oh, nice, mobs. Why is there so much dirt here? Because I mean, that's not really vanilla Minecraft. You can't have that much dirt in one location. And you saw that was a pretty thick layer of dirt. I found it by accident. And don't ask me why am I walking during the night. It's not a good idea. There are crazy mobs, like that one. I'm not really worried about me, I'm worried about the Baron. So very good, we have the dirt, 41 stacks. That's a decent number. And the ones in my inventory, and Baron has, I think, a bit more? Yes, very good, 85 stacks. So now that we have the dirt, there is one more resource that we want. Yes, oil. Heavy oil. This is just gonna be lovely. Yes, I would say this is a decent amount of oil. But fear not, there's plenty of oil sand around us. And for what we want to do, it's going to be sufficient. It's just that where do I put you so that I don't get confused? Here maybe? Yeah, oil is something that I will do on my own, don't you worry, I'm not gonna bore you to death. But there is one more thing that we should do together. Obviously we're going to need some gunpowder. I guess we take all of it. Why the hell not? Baron? Whenever I need you, you're not here. But when you're building, he's always in the way. Yeah, we don't need these guys on the list anymore. And obviously the reason that we need all of that gunpowder was to make powder barrels. Let's see how many stacks we can make. It's gonna be a lot. I also have planks in the system. Okay, that was it. It's a decent number. I should really set up an auto crafting system for this. Essentially what we want to be able to do is to make some bedrockium. It's very expensive, I know. This is getting us nowhere. I mean, it is. It's not great. Because if you want to make the bedrockium barrel, you're going to need 6 bedrockium plates, right? So you need 24 quadruple compressed cobblestone. We have 6. Maybe somehow I can automate it? Let us see. Oh, and by the way, we're still making tungsten steel. Well, at least there's only 4 left. That's a good sign, I guess. On a positive note, we have a ton. Well, first things first, let us make 2 of these barrels. Because that is actually a quest. Thank you, thank you. We already also got 1 from a reward, so yeah, we have 3 of them. And then let me try to come up with a system for this. Can we have 1 more of these? The implosion compressor, yeah, it's HV and pretty cheap. Actually, I never explained what the hell is bedrockium, because sometimes people get confused. So, first off, this is a drum, right? It's a fluid reservoir, or essentially a tank. But this one is from Extra Utilities, and yes, this is not bedrockium, this is a small one, and it can only hold 256 buckets. But if I do manage to upgrade it to bedrockium, it can hold 65,000 buckets. A normal tier 1 super tank from GregTech can only hold 4,000 buckets. Actually, you can see it on the tooltip. It's also 8 times better than a Super Tank Mark II, and you get the idea, 4 times better than the Super Tank Mark III. It's even better than the IV version. But that is not the main reason that I want to use bedrockium. The main reason is this. In the recent version of this mod pack, you can break the super tanks, you can pick them up, and they will hold the fluid. Like so. The problem is the debuffs. You see? 26 seconds. And this duration of debuffs is proportionate to how full the tank is. So this one has 1000 buckets inside, which I picked it up. This one has 4000 buckets. Let's pick it up. You see? 5 minutes. With bedrockium, this doesn't happen. And yes, I know, you can put the tanks inside your backpack, but you still have to pick it up. Just wanted to tell you, tungsten steel is finally finished. Oh, and by the way, somebody told me you don't need the circuit. You can just do this in the input bus, and I can take you out. Oh, my bad. I didn't see the thingy here. This is the entire supply of stainless steel dust. Since I need to start refining oil, we need to make much more. Oh, it's gonna be a blood moon. Uh-oh. Nothing should spawn in the base. That's the good part. Anyways, let us get back to our very small project of making some bedrockium. We can disassemble some of these machines, and I just need to make a crafter. Okay, me and the Baron have been surveying the area to understand where is a good location to set up our automation for bedrockium. At first I thought to myself, since we're no longer using steam, because you know, if we go to the basement you might notice that I'm dismantling everything which works with steam. Next to our advanced boilers, because it's already set up, it's already highly efficient, it would be a nice location to set up the bedrockium automation, correct? But then I thought to myself, 2 of the 3 ingredients, meaning gunpowder and string, which we need in order to make the powder barrel, are being made at the mob farm. Therefore, it's going to make much more sense to set up our automation next to our mob farm rather than next to the river. And then it hit me. The mob farm that we have is an actual treasure, which we're not using at all. Just as an example, carrots, potatoes, spider eyes, and rotten flesh, all of them can be converted into methane, which is something that I want. We can also convert glistering melons and golden apples. We are getting a ton of slime balls, and that will be our source of glue. We also get the raw rubber dust, which if I give it sulfur, we would be able to make some rubber. Like so. So maybe that is something that we should start working on. The only problem is the transfer of power, because we are not generating any power next to the mob farm and we have to transfer it somehow. I guess since in the garbage basement we are moving away from steam, we can extend the pipe. The question is, how long is it going to be? 1 chunk, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chunks. Yeah, 6 chunks of huge potin pipes is a lot of potin pipes. Oh, but now that we have the alloy blast furnace, we can use this recipe. It's bronze, lead, and tin. Circuit number 3, everything goes in. It takes a while, but I think it's a better recipe. And also, instead of getting stupid ingots, we're just gonna get plates. It's done. How many plates? 5. That's not great. Would be much easier to do it by hand, and well, the ratio is the same. Give me my garbage. Much better. And faster. But I do have a feeling we're gonna need much more. Yeah, and I just realized these are my only furnaces. If we remove steam from the basement, I don't have anything to smelt with. I think there is a multi-smelter which is no longer that expensive. Yeah, maybe we will do that. So I guess let me do some gizmos and I'll be right back. Okay, so we have reached the point where I'm not really exactly sure what I'm doing. We have a new implosion compressor and its only job is to make the quadruple compressed cobblestone. That is what we are going to need later on in order to make a bedrockium ingot. The recipe is HV, so there is no way in the world that we can do it here. I mean, there is, but it's going to be more complicated than this. I do have a few assembling machines over here, which their job is going to be making the compressed cobblestone, this recipe that you see over here. So I have to bring my cobblestone generator here as well. Then we have a few macerators over here. At first I wanted to use the steam macerator, but I thought maybe these guys are going to be more efficient. I mean power-wise, not speed-wise. Anyways, these guys are going to make us wood pulp, and this basic assembling machine, which I think now I should put it in the center, I guess, is going to make us the wood planks. Gunpowder and string we're getting from the mob farm, which the cable for it is actually right over here. I saw something where? Huh, yeah, warp makes you feel crazy. But I do have a few centrifuges over here for making methane. And this is not going to be our main source of methane, it's just for making some chloroform and, you know, making some go to hell. Then I think I'm going to need one more centrifuge in order to make refined glue so that we can make the wood planks, and then use the rubber pulp in order to make actual rubber bars. Oh, and obviously we do have a crafter from Ender.io which is going to make us the powder barrels. Filtering everything is also going to be a pain. But this is actually a very nice break, because in order to process oil, which I need it in order to make phenol and one more thing which I forgot, which I guess is not very important, we will figure it out later on, I need a ton of stainless steel. Oh, it's every 15 seconds now. Huh. I'm used to tungsten. We can make 8 more centrifuges. I made so many LV machines and motors. But we just need the one, so thank you. I guess if I have not done any miscalculations, that should be all the machines. I really tried to make it symmetrical, even with the steam turbines. We don't need that many steam turbines, obviously. There is a question which has always bothered me. If we manage to find a villager, maybe we would be able to solve it. Where is everyone? Oh. 400 of them in a room. Okay. So, can we pick them up using a golden lasso? Yes, we have a villager. There is another question which always bothers me. Where's the door to this stupid city? And the final question which has been bothering me is that if you drop a villager inside the eternal flame... Huh. He's going to ascend to the heavens. So we're actually doing a good job. Yeah, I've gone a bit crazy because I have been working on this stupid thing. Yeah, the filtering is the problem, otherwise it's actually working. For example, we have 5 stacks of rubber bars. Why? That's a bit too much. We're also generating methane at a relatively garbage rate, but over time it's going to count. Well, the rest of the machines are for the powder barrel, and so far we have 3 quadruple compressed cobblestone. Oh, and by the way, I realized that the generators that I have down here can power more machines, so we have more centrifuges for methane. I mean, you're getting tons of rotten flesh, you might as well convert it into methane. Even though, as I have already mentioned, we are going to have a methane production, don't you worry. I mean, technically speaking, we do have a production of methane gas, it's just that we're converting it into hydrogen. 6,000 buckets. Not that... oh, nitrogen is full. Nice. I do admit that this was a very stupid side project, but the thing is, we had a giant cube over here, and well, I had to do something with the walls. They were too plain. And talking about sides, we also have to do something with this side, and I left the scaffolding. In other news, I have also decided to make a pathway. It leads to our witchery area and probably forestry area, and if we continue the path, it's going to lead into the forest. And yes, I have removed all the snow. Literally everything. This place was completely covered. However, now we need to start getting focused. We need to be gregging a lot for the next episode. Because now that the blast furnace is no longer making tungsten steel, we need to make the other metals, like stainless steel. And we need tons. Because as I have already mentioned, next episode we want to be able to start processing oil, and therefore we're going to need tons and tons of resources. But it's not just stainless steel that we want, it's also steel itself. Wow, that's super fast. Holy, we get a ton of wrought iron, and I was like, yeah, I can convert this one. I have no other uses for it. Another thing that we need to do next episode, apart from making distillation towers for processing oil, is a ton of chemical reactors. So do we have methane? Oh, 3 stacks. 3 stacks is nice. Anyways, as you guys remember, the large chemical reactor is going to need go to hell, and go to hell is going to need methane, which we have more. Something is stuck. Oh, I forgot to put a trash can. Ew, it's fine. We don't need carbon that much. So, what did I steal from you? Input hatch. So, polytetrafluoroethylene is chloroform, and this is why we needed methane, and apparently a ton of chlorine. Yeah, we have it. And it is circuit number 3. Correct? Oh, I broke you, so there you go. Now, why are you making hydrochloric acid? Circuit number... Oh, it goes to the other one. Yes, it goes here. Actually, I'm pretty excited because I think from next episode, we get into actual GregTech, which is kind of fun, because it's just multi-blocks. You get so much hydrochloric acid. That's crazy. We have a decent supply of steel, we have a decent supply of stainless steel, and well, obviously, enough tungsten steel. So I think now it's the time to start making some titanium because I'm extremely short. Making the stupid chest plate also didn't help. It takes 40 seconds for rutile. I guess I should not really complain. One of the main reasons that we want all of these resources is that we need to make different hatches, and obviously one of them is going to be a maintenance hatch. This is the cheaty recipe for the maintenance hatch, and yes, we do need a ton of duct tapes. And since I'm running out, we might as well make some. Okay, it has been a while later, and I have been extremely busy. I thought to myself, I'm in a habit of misplacing everything, so I made myself a project chest. These are the things that I just literally made. Some nitric acid, some iron tree in order to make circuit boards. Cause when we were making the thermal boiler, we lost 1 stack of HV circuits. I mean, the thermal boiler doesn't work, so technically it's lost. We have a ton of molten polytetrafluoroethylene, which is essentially Teflon, and we're going to use it in order to make chemical reactors. And of course, polyethylene, as much as we can. We're also processing some rutile, and over here in our clean room, the garbage room, I have started making some more circuits. Well, this badge already finished, so that's a good sign. Nothing is wrong with you. Good. So that also goes inside the project chest. In other news, we're out of copper. So maybe getting the multi-blocks for ore processing should be our first priority. The issue is that we're not really out of copper. There is an ore called chalcopyrite, which if you smelt it, it's just gonna give you copper, right? But no, this is GregTech New Horizon, so you can do something else with it. If you crush it, then wash that stupid thing, and then give it a combination of diluted sulfuric acid and nitric acid, which is called Aqua Regia, King of Waters? I don't know. Anyways, it's going to give you something called platinum concentrate, and that is the decent way of getting platinum, which there is a quest line for it, but we will do it later on. So this is why we're out of copper, because we're not using the chalcopyrite. In other news, I'm making a ton of reinforced duct tapes, which maybe we should take these out and put them in the project chest. Also the second batch of circuits. And now I think what we need to do is that we need to start making a ton of output hatches. Because if we want to make distillation towers, we're going to need, I don't know, 30, 40 of them? Oh, your charge ran out. Nice. So you need an iron tank. Yes, I have been prepared. We have 7 iron tanks, 37 normal tanks, and plenty of double iron plates. So I have been making some output hatches for the refineries that goes inside the project chest. And then I was thinking to myself, yes, oil is very important, I need some of the byproducts, but this basement needs a huge makeover. Cause you know, as it stands, I have pulverizers here, washers here, thermal centrifuges here, sifter, and then I have a few electrolyzers here, a few over there, centrifuges are all over the place. I'm still using ovens in order to smelt stuff, and well, the blast furnace is also like somewhere in the middle, which blocks everything. So I don't really know, maybe I should give priority to something else. Getting multi-blocks. Because just as an example, these are 2 advanced thermal centrifuges, right? If we give it copper, that's the speed it's going to work. And this is HV, it consumes a ton of power. If I get the multi-block, it's going to process 8 items per voltage tier. Meaning that it's going to process 24 items at HV, I think. And it's even going to process those items at 150% the speed, so I think it's a good investment. Or the ore washing plant, centrifuge, multi-smelter, electrolyzer. So maybe that is some, oh my goodness, that's so much warp. You get it every 5 minutes. I was going to say maybe that is something that we have to prioritize. Increase our, you see, it's warp every 30 seconds. I don't know what the hell is wrong. Anywho, if the warp allows me to talk, I just wanted to say that maybe if we increase our production by making a few multi-blocks, progressing further is going to be much easier. It's just that there are a few things which are going to be a problem. For example, we need something called graphene in order to make, I don't know, the electric motor from the IVH. Or we need something called tungsten steel reinforced borosilicate glass. In my universe, we just call it glass. But apparently this is what we are going to need, and yeah, we are going to need something called Advanced Fluid Solidifier Mark III, which is EV. That's not a big deal. Anywho, if I want to do that, next episode for me is gonna be just horrific. None of those problems are extremely important. What is important is that we need more resources. Hence, I'm making titanium. But this time it's fast, it's 10 seconds with the coils. Nice. But until I decide what I want to do, I think it's also a good time to wrap up this episode. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Till the next one. Bye bye. Oh, and by the way, I realized you don't really need to have an overflow valve. The tank has its own function now. That's nice.